TSA.
All revenue accounts.
They are all TSA sub-accounts. They are linked. There is one single account now, TSA, and it has subsets, sub-accounts. Recovery accounts are subsets of the TSA. They are linked, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. I don't know accounting, so I need to understand. Do you in the appropriation?
It's a complete line as part of IGR in the Appropriation Act. In 2021, we have about 23 billion provided. So there is nothing which is out of appropriation, as far as we know, based on the fact that there is a line recovery on the IGR of federal government, and we are making payment reflecting such, provision in the Appropriation Act.
Mr. I'm going to send you a note now. I want you to look at it.
Yes.
And I read out the highlighted section, please.
4, Your Excellency, there is no budgetary provision for many of these approvals.
Okay. Just read any other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thus, a gradual settlement is being recommended.
Okay. Was the money released? Or was sought? Was it not released?
Well, I'm looking at it. I don't know what it represents. This was in 2017, a letter written in 2017, and it was written to His Excellency, Mr. President, by the Honorable Minister of Finance, and I'm just seeing a sentence out of a letter with about 6 paragraphs and many prayers. So I read it as such, and I understand it as I read it.
So, but you understand what I'm driving at?
If there is anything that is not provided in some of the expenditure items that are not provided in the budget, I don't even know which items do these constitute.
If I can have the letter back.
Yes.
That may be more helpful than when you say about 4.
I'm sorry for using that word about. There are recovery accounts as follows. 1, main asset recovery account. There is also final forfeiture, which there is interim forfeiture account, and in this interim forfeiture account, it has some 2 legs. We have EFCC account. There is also ICPC account. These are the main accounts in focus. In addition, when we talk of recovery accounts, we also have dollar account, we have pound sterling account, we have euro account. These accounts are integral parts of all these accounts, either EFCC or ICPC. If there is any FX designated recovery, either in dollar or in pound sterling or in euro, we open a separate account. So these accounts are there, and the balances are there, the account numbers are there. Now, as far as management of these accounts are concerned, we simply rely on
Mr. Chairman, for the purpose of records, Mr. Accountant General, you made mention, you ran down some names of accounts, main accounts, main asset accounts, that's 1. Interim accounts, that's 2. Final forfeiture accounts, that's 3. Which has, the interim has 2 legs, which you said EFCC account, that is 4. ICPC account, that is 5. We have dollar account, that is 6. We have pound sterling account, that is 7. We have euro account, that is 8. I want us, I'm not an accountant. You open these accounts.
Can I?
For the purpose of our secretariat so that they get you
yes,
correct.
I have something in writing here.
Okay.
And I will give it to the Honorable Chair for guidance. Do you have another copy?
Okay, thank you. I think I have the yes. Yes.
So for guidance of the committee, at least the list is there. But there are main accounts, you know. So let me go back to my presentation. We, as much as possible, rely on approvals given to us before we allow any payment out of any of these accounts. And the approvals mainly are by the, authority of Mr. President through the Honorable Minister of Finance. No any other institution, no any other authority is taken to withdraw or to incur any expenditure out of these accounts. There was a mention, anyway, let me not talk on issues that have not raised, that have not been addressed to me. I will allow questions to come before I preempt them. But I know there are issues and questions asked the Honorable Attorney General, which I think I could provide better answer to. And in due course, I believe the questions will come up because I know I'm also going to be asked the same questions. So we run the accounts, we maintain them, we open them, and we rely on authority of the presidency through the Honorable Minister of Finance to make payments out of such accounts.
I want you to repeat what you just said.
I said we open the accounts, we maintain the accounts, we are custodians, and we rely on authority of the presidency through the Honorable Minister of Finance to make disbursements out of such accounts. And
I mean, out of the consolidated revenue account or out of the recovery account?
That's great. I think we are coming to one of the questions you asked the Honorable Attorney General. With the emergence of TSA, Honorable Committee, the consolidated revenue account is now one.
Good.
And it is a single account, which has subdivisions, sub-accounts, but which are linked together operationally, and we can see for the purpose of consolidation, aside of the individual balances in the account, what is there, as an overall balance, reflecting the consolidated revenue account. So TSA, in essence, technically replaced the consolidated revenue account. One payment is made, the question of under present circumstance that you have not made payment out of CRF does not arise. It is one single account. They are linked technically, and that is the essence and the import of TSA. I think this clarification is necessary, and it can be given not by any other person, but by the Treasurer of the Federation. And I'm giving this explanation.
To him, look at the signature there. A second one, same to Central Bank, for $23 million. Please check, same number, same signature, check it. A third one to Governor of CBN for another $23 million. You could see the signatures are the same.
These are genuine signatures?
No, good. No, I mean, I'm coming to it. I'm going to show you one.
Okay.
Now, this is for the sum of 20 billion naira, signed by Alexander Adeyemi. Please check, cross-check it.
Yes. These signatures are from the Office of Accountant General of the Federation.
The one on the 23 billion?
Yes.
Is it the same signature?
Let me make...
It's the same name? Are they the same signature?
This is for file copy, initials. This is the one that goes to the CBN. That is how signatures are made. I don't make my full signature for the one that is remaining in my own file. I just sign like this. If you check all records in my office, this is it. This is the full signature. This is the document that has gone to CBN.
So the documents you sent to us, were they not file copies?
Well, it could be the same, but this is just our signature.
Mr. Adeyemi here?
Mr. Adeyemi is my Director of Revenue and Investment, and this is how we sign.
Okay.
Anyone going, the original will carry this.
The copy you're holding, is that CBN copy or your file copy?
This is CBN copy.
That's CBN copy?
Yes. This is our file copy. All these are our file copy. I claim this. These are my signatures. This is the way I sign.
Well, since Mr. Adeyemi is not here, we can't. So I rule that you present Mr. Adeyemi here.
No.
I'm a defender. Please, we'd like to see Mr. Adeyemi to
Can I call him now? He can come now immediately.
No, we'd like to see Mr. Adeyemi because it's not your signature.
Please call Mr. Adeyemi to come.
We need to know.
We will affirm these signatures before you, and if even in minuting.
Yes.
Even in minuting, all my memo to Honorable Minister carry this. But when I'm signing out, it is this.
We would like to see Mr. Adeyemi.
Please call him.
You are not likely to pay all the liabilities in a financial year. It is possible. And so it may be rolled over. But we will expect that in the new year, that there will also be appropriation to take care of it. So in this case, since you are paying an overhead for 2016 financial year in in 2019, the question that one should ask, sir, is that do you have appropriation for sale?
There is, I don't know the figure exactly, but I know there is provision for payment of local liabilities. And these local liabilities are not limited to overhead alone, include services and other,
Well, we're not disputing that, sir. That what we are saying is if government owes a debt, yes, you have to pay.
Well, what I'm saying is, Honorable, there is provision of, payment to local contractors, payment of local liabilities in the appropriation. There is.
General.
Well, I cannot say general.
Open-ended.
It's not an open-ended. It is a specific amount, and we have to work within that specific amount. There is no year payment of such liabilities supersedes what is provided in the budget. I'm not aware of any particular financial year where payment to local liabilities or of local liabilities goes beyond what is provided.
Specifics. Thank you, Accountant General.
Thank you.
Mr. Accountant General, does signatures matter in public documents, financial matters?
It does, seriously.
Which means that if I write you a check and I sign a fake signature, you have the right to reject it.
Honestly, signature is key.
So when somebody, a public officer, intentionally use a different signature, what does this point to sign a public document? Is it an indication of fraud or somebody trying to hide something?
This is abnormal and should not be acceptable.
Okay, please. I'm going to pass this account for the period of 2017 to 2020. Is there a possibility that it could mean that you could have omitted something from this schedule?
To the best of my knowledge, we have not omitted.
On August 1st, a payment of 6.119 million to the office of NSA. It's not reflected here. Please, can I just see both? Please, I want you to look at it. No, I give it to you. It's already highlighted. Please show him this. This is a statement of account.
Can you tell this committee at any point in time did you receive any approval of withdrawal from any of these accounts and who authorized such approval? Did you at any point in time receive any authorization for withdrawals from these recovery accounts that you mentioned to us earlier on? And who made that authorization?
I have mentioned that, and only that, through the Honorable Minister of Finance for withdrawals from such accounts. And we have the approvals with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any recovery from the Office of the National Security Advisor?
What happens is, we were directed to open the account, the designated accounts, and we make available details of the accounts. And these accounts are with Central Bank of Nigeria in line with the TSA policy. And so, if there is any recovery by any of these agencies, they normally direct lodgement into that account and inform us in writing. Where, for whatever reason, they fail to inform us, when we receive statement of account from the Central Bank of Nigeria, which we do from time to time, we make reconciliation, and at reconciliation we see an amount coming in, so we contact the particular recovery agency, be it EFCC, so and so and so. Like I told you, we have designated accounts. We know what is coming from who and for who. And so we contact them. We've seen this. Is it, so that in our ledger, because we keep manual, physical ledger for each of these accounts, so that we put clearly the narration that this is recovery from ABC, and it came on this date. So reconciliation, and then we contact the agency for clarification as to from where is the money coming, what is it for.
Thank you. Can you kindly educate me, invariably educating the committee, what is the relationship of TSA and federal government account and consolidated revenue fund?
I think at this point I will answer the question, but I will also want to make a point that the TSA should be given a legal teeth. When I say given a legal teeth, it means going by what we have in the financial regulations, and indeed, even the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which the Honorable Chair was making reference to validly, that as far as the revenues are concerned, they should first go into consolidated revenue fund. Yes, it is there. But with the advent of TSA, everything is now pulled together, centralized, yet with sub-accounts that are linked. So there is need for some amendment of the law, the details of which maybe we can talk about later.
Okay.
But the relationship is that all these recoveries accounts are accounts we open with the Central Bank of Nigeria. They are part and parcel and sub-accounts of the TSA as a whole. And if you say, take this money, put it in this account, then it's like you are just saying the same thing. Take from the same account, put in the same account before you spend. No. It is in the TSA, everything is pulled together and is centralized. There is visibility and they are linked. Even though you can say this is account A, account B, account C, but in the end, you can visibly look at it as a whole on a dashboard, which is called TSA, Treasury Single Account.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused. I know it's accounting, you are dealing with figures. What I don't seem to understand, and what most Nigerians, I believe, don't seem to understand is the federal government, that is executive, is operating TSA. Is it using TSA to manage federal government of Nigeria's money or federal or executive money? Because there is these recoveries are on behalf of Nigeria. And then they go to TSA. And then TSA is an executive is an entity of executive, which is owned by the Accountant General of the Federation, which other states may not agree with you.
You see, there is need for further clarity. There is difference between Consolidated Revenue Fund and Federation accounts. Federation account. Consolidated Revenue Fund is for the federal government. Federation accounts is for the entire federation. There are federation revenues. There are federal government IGR revenues. When we go to FAC, we share what is on the federation account. The state governments are represented, the local governments are represented, the federal government is represented.
Mr. Accountant General, hold on. I want to, when you talk about sharing, I know what exactly the Constitution said. The Constitution did not make reference to federation account.
No, the share of the federal government goes to Consolidated Revenue Fund, which is account of the federal government and which is being anchored and tailored, and it's just the TSA. TSA does not apply to federation account. TSA does not apply to federation.
I think there's a question I want to ask you regarding this. Recover loots. Okay? Is it a recovery for only the federal government or for the Nigerian Federation?
Depending on the nature of recovery, I think there is need really to have an in-depth understanding of this. Some recoveries are for state governments, specific state governments. I know there was a time recovery was made on behalf of, is it Plateau State? There was one for Bayelsa, there was one for different states. If Delta, so such recoveries go specifically to those states that for which they are.
Let's give an example. I mean, there's something trending, the recovery of Ibori loots. Where will it be paid into?
It was paid to the state. Is it Delta or, yeah, Delta State. It was paid to Delta State.
But that's contrary to the information that it was used for specific
No, any recovery, Honorable Chair, Honorable Committee, any recovery that is, arising from looted funds from a particular state goes to the state. The state governors will not even allow this to fly. You know, Honorable. You know they will not. They will take federal government to court for holding their money. So we don't joke and we don't play with that. We pay them their money.
Okay, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir. Accountant General, please let me see. Accountant General, you enumerated earlier before this committee different types of accounts. I put it to you that you have not totally been honest with this committee with accounts stated. I will want you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman.
It's listed.
I will want you to please specifically give to this committee with different account numbers. The dollars, the pound sterling, the euro, and the naira account with specific account numbers. You know, we are doing this work for Nigeria. Nigeria comprises of 36 plus 1 states. So give with specific account numbers, please, to this committee. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, all the accounts are enumerated in the paper I gave to you. Some of them we even go ahead to give balances. You cannot have a balance without an account, and there shouldn't be an account without account number. So if there is a balance, then there is an account. If there is an account, then there is an account number, and we should know where it is.
What I'm saying is, it is not all. You have not stated everything. That's what I'm putting to you.
And we
there are still outstanding account numbers.
Wait now.
Wait. You have, what I'm putting to you is not all. You have not given all to this committee.
All the accounts.
Mr. Chairman, sir, please, let's be guided.
What is given to me is recovery funds account balance as at September 29.
I think once today, if that account is part of what you wrote, but I think you should deal with this actually.
Well.
The same number of accounts there. I think just to understand, to explain why the difference.
Honorable Chair.
Yes.
To the best of my ability and based on the oath I took before you, I've given you all the facts and all my statements are factual. I've made 2-volume submissions to the Honorable Committee and I stand by what I submitted. 2 volumes of this. All the accounts, recovery accounts are there. None is hidden, none is missing.
Now, I think the basic question will be, is it possible that CBN is operating accounts that you're not aware of?
As far as I know, being the treasurer, I sanction opening of such account. And if any account is there, I would be surprised to hear that it is existing without my knowledge, without my information, and without visibility to the treasury.
My brother, sir, the accounts which I urge Mr. Chairman to avail you for fair hearing to speak to, sir. Do you know anything about the accounts? Are the account number familiar to you? Do you operate them?
Well, if there is any, being specific, Honorable.
I get the documents. There are 2 documents.
Is it? Which one? Okay, this one. Okay. I'm consulting with the operators of the accounts so that we. This paper? No, this is just account balances, this does not.
Excuse me, please. Let me.
Honorable Chair, let one of my directors speak to the document, please.
You have the time, sir. Go through it and then you can.
Yeah, take the mic. Take the mic.
Accountant General, sir, why your lieutenant is going, why your lieutenant is going through to confirm whether you are familiar, whether you operate these accounts, that the committee is of the opinion and not accommodated in your submission. Sir, may I ask that we should, Mr. Chairman, sir, with your permission.
Before I come to let me just speak to this briefly. There was a time when different agencies were keeping accounts themselves. When I say keeping accounts, they were even going to Central Bank of Nigeria to open account. And there was later a directive, was it in 2018 or 19? I could not remember. That for visibility, for transparency, the Treasury should take control of this account. So EFCC, ICPC, all bring details of your accounts, let us collapse them into this account. We will make further investigation on some of these to find out if it is such pre-consolidation era that we are talking about. I wouldn't take a position as of now. I don't know if I can be availed this. I'm willing to assist the committee to unravel and find out what this stands for.
So how soon can we get your feedback?
We will get this by tomorrow.
By tomorrow, okay. So I rule that you come.
We'll get this by tomorrow.
The clarification by tomorrow.
We'll do it.
No, for document, just for document, just for him to bring, not on the subject.
Mr. Chairman, let me just come to the aid of the Accountant General. Although, fortunately or unfortunately, the Attorney General has been excused, he made mention about the inability of the National Assembly to come up with a law that will help him on tracing, recovery, and the management of recovered and looted funds. While we know there are sufficient laws that can address all those problems. We just didn't want to drag it with the Attorney General, which I know that he knows we have sufficient laws to do that. That's where we are now, because we have the laws to get where we are now. I don't know. Let me ask the Accountant General whether he feels there is need for a legislation from National Assembly to give him some legal backing to open accounts. Like you rightly said earlier on, that there is need to legitimize, to legalize TSA. I think TSA is legalized. Yes, TSA is legitimate. It's a legitimate federal government account. I don't think it requires any law, if I can recollect your
a legal backing to do my routine job. My routine job is there, and I have the backing already. But I'm saying the advent of TSA has brought about some changes, which in a way can go counter to provisions of the existing laws. And so there is need for some amendments, and we can be key to pointing out where these amendments are needed and are required as far as our operations are concerned. But for our routine job, we are already legally backed, and we are doing that. We are just seeking for key amendments. Finance and Control Act 1958, which is still in force, is one of the issues. And even there are many other issues. A lot of things have happened around public finance reform initiatives at government, at federal level, and there is need really to identify and specifically address some of these matters so that they are not left under lacunas.
COVID loot to December 2020, is that correct? Please, Mr. Chairman, sir, with your permission, I would like him to see this. This document is at when due. The balance there, please, is at when due.
To June 2020.
Okay.
This was part of what was raised yesterday.
Please go down, please. Excuse me. No, I have another question to that.
Okay.
Please. Hold on. Then, can you look at this document, please? Second line, please, with your permission, Mr. Chairman.
The same document?
No, this is another one. Okay. Can you read the first 3 lines before Nigerians and this committee, please? The first 3 lines.
Confirmation of recovery of the sum of 5 billion, and so on. I am directed to refer to your letter referenced, dated 19th October 2020, Appendix 1, and to confirm the receipt of 5,494,743.71 euros credited into the federal government asset recovery account number this and that. Yes, I read.
Accountant General.
Yes.
So why is that not reflecting in the document submitted, the balances submitted to this committee? That's 5 million euro. Yes.
That's at September in November. This money came in October, so it's in October statement.
We made submission which gives balances as at November. This is it. Our submission is as at November, and the balances as at September, which reflected in a month later. So they are not in the statement that we submitted.
Mr. Accountant General, I mean, I'm going to just ask.
We have a statement for October which shows this balance, and it's normal. You receive an amount in a given month, and it is reflected in a subsequent month, particularly where FX is involved, not local currency. The statement can be produced.
No, Mr. Chairman, my question to you, Accountant General.
Yes.
Why is it not in the ledger submitted to this committee? Your balance of account different. Your ledger report to this committee, why is it not reflecting that euro, that 5 million euro, why is it not reflecting in the ledger submitted to this committee?
Well, this is what I was telling you. Reconciliation is always there, and all accountants will attest to that.
Billion, we are talking of
there is nothing, there is nothing,
there is
nothing being hidden.
Accountant General is very
the statements are there.
It's very simple and straightforward. It's very simple and straightforward.
I don't want us to
let me allow one of my directors just to say a word. After all, these receipts were made where we got this receipt after our submission was made. So there wouldn't have been this.
We will give you an opportunity.
From the CVN.
Accountant General, I will give you an opportunity to reconcile some of these things. Just hold on, because there are certain things I'm going to ask that you help us with to make things easier. Okay? Let's look to make these things easy. You do a yearly breakdown of receipts from recoveries.
Yes.
Let's say from 2015 to 2020. You're blocking his view. A yearly breakdown. How much was receipted?
Yes.
How much was spent as expenses, maybe for recoveries? How much was appropriated and balanced? Can we have that from 2015 to 2020?
We will produce this, exactly.
I mean, it makes things easier. I mean,
we will produce this tomorrow.
Good, fantastic. So we expect that
we'll produce this tomorrow.
Okay.
This is an amount received by Central Bank of Nigeria, for which we already submitted this before we even got this letter from CBN.
You see, I'm on your side.
So we will update you. By tomorrow, you will get full position.
Accountant General,
yes.
What you see, I've given you.
It's my own document.
So, sir, the worry, sir, Accountant General, NTA, please, Uncle, the worry of the committee is that you are asked to give a report up to December 2020. Sir, remember, sir, that we're in 2021 and we're asked for a record, financial records drawn up to 31st December 2020. And that is in October, I guess, last year. So, and I'm very happy that you recognize that it emanated from your office, that it's your document. So I know balances can change. Do you understand? We know balances can change. So if you give a position, say in May, in 2020, it won't be the same in October 2020. So we understand that. But we are just curious, worried that that 5 million euro is not 5,000 naira.
Honorable, request for information is to November, not to December. It's to November, and we gave our information to November. This came after.
No,
even where we have
which month is this, sir? Which month is this?
This is October.
And this is November.
But the request actually was for information, balances as at September, even though we made it available before committee as at November.
And there was one expect that want to have been covered, sir.
But then we are trying to restrict ourselves to the period in question. In any case, this is what came in October and reflected in the accounts after the date of this request.
Okay, my leader, sir, gentlemen, my leader, sir.
In any case,
sir. Excuse me, sir.
We agreed.
Accountant General, let's take you say we're all working together, to make Nigeria a better place. Mr. Chairman, sir, fair hearing. fair hearing is a very serious constitutional matter. Very serious constitutional matter. Records don't lie. Records don't lie. 5 million euro cannot disappear anyhow. We can trace. Why don't we give the Attorney General an opportunity to update his records? And like I've said, Mr. Chairman, sir, excuse me, sir, what is important, Mr. Chairman, sir, what is important to Nigerians is account of the total amount recovered from loot and proceeds of financial crimes and its application. That is what Nigerians are interested in. And sir, and that is the purpose of this committee. This committee must unearth what the proceeds, what has been used for. If you are saying, excuse me sir, if you are saying you apply a proceed to Lagos-Ibadan Road, to Kaduna, to Abuja, to Kaduna-Kano Road, do we have value for money? Performance audit, project audit. Those are the issues that we want you to account up to the last kobo. Based on the submission of the Attorney General of the Federation. The Attorney General of the Federation has given an account, the legal background to all the recoveries. But this committee is interested. The asset you dispose of that you sold, the proceeds, were the asset valued at at the real price or the undervalued?
Honorable, we will.
Yes.
I tried to help you, and I stated the things we need to do to make things very easy. You've sent us, okay, this is how much was received. I mean, like my colleague mentioned when the Attorney General was explaining, you paid him money. It's not his business to know where you paid from. So what we want to do is now benchmark how much was received. Break down. This is how much was received from this. This is how much was expended. And then you itemize who and who it was paid for. Then you give us the balance. Because if, let's assume you receive 100 billion naira in 2019, and you spent 100 billion naira, we want to know what projects, or for what, is it for NSIP? Were they paid to NSIP? You give us the date. Was it paid to this? To give us the date. Was it paid maybe discretionary spending? You let us know. Those are the things we want you to have in that document that you're going forward to follow.
We will incorporate this element, which clearly all other details we've been able to give who is the recipient of what in our report. And, pardon? No, I am saying this element is not there, but we'll incorporate it.
So
that is why
an opportunity to
update and it will be tomorrow. We'll bring an update.
Mr. Chairman, sir.